Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. I suppose good morning. I think we have some folks maybe where it's morning as well. We're thrilled to have you here today for Vivial's 2018 digital marketing trends of the year. So this is our first webinar to kick off 2018, and we're going to give you an insider scoop on 2018's top marketing trends. So really exciting stuff. All of us are jazzed to be here today. So let's go through a little bit of housekeeping to begin with. We'll probably not get into the questions for a couple minutes as we have others joining. First, make sure that your sound's on. You should be able to hear me right now. If you're having any issues, you can refresh your browser. Also, we have lots of folks standing by that can answer any question that you need, whether it's technical, or if you have questions as we're going and you want to make sure that you get your question answered, ask the technical or presentation questions in the Q&A box down below. Okay, so let's do introductions. I'm Laura Cole, VP of Marketing for Vivial. With me, I have Todd Renard, our VP of Digital Product, Aaron Neese, Director of Training, and Andre Flax, our Director of Sales. And we are all thrilled to be here, right?
Yeah,
true.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's jump into it. Our first trend. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and talk about the trends that we've identified for 2018. And I'm gonna get lots of good feedback and discussion about what you guys think about these trends. So first, Google is moving to mobile first search. When Google makes a change, it affects most of us. In 2017, Google held almost 75% of search engine market share. And on mobile, Google holds 93%. Todd, we were talking a little bit before this, and I think you disagree slightly, a little bit with this.
I do, in that making a statement that Google is moving to mobile first search, we're there. We're already there. There are more mobile phones out there than there are toothbrushes.
That's
mobile is here, and people are using it everywhere they go. And mobile isn't just about the phone. This can be a tablet, this can be your watch, it can be fitness devices, whatever it is, people are mobile. There is no question about that.
Yeah. Andre, what do you think?
Yeah, so, I was looking at a survey that said that, when it comes to mobile versus desktop, in terms of click-through rate, desktop right now is around 17.9%, but mobile click-through rates are at 29%. So clearly, more click-through rates are happening on a mobile device than on desktop, and so Google is smart and it knows that's where most of the business and the consumer community is going. They're using their devices for everything now.
The value of that interaction is higher than the desktop interaction. Mm-hmm. Not for all searches, but for things like if your car breaks down, you're going to need a tow truck. That's an immediate response to an event in your life. That mobile search is an extremely valuable thing to capture for a business that could deliver on whatever need that is.
Yeah, that's interesting. Aaron, what do you think about mobile?
Well, I also think about the way that we're using the mobile devices. And what I mean by that is, even just in the last couple years, we were typing in the location, right, the city that we were in, even just near me. And that has changed significantly over even just this last year, and I see it continue to move forward by not even having to put in that location. So if I need a landscaper, I might just type in my phone landscapers because my phone already knows where I'm at.
Which is a little scary.
It does, yes. But it's there, the location services are on, and that we don't have to type in everything anymore.
Yeah.
I think the other trend there is people are moving more towards voice search. So they're not typing at all. Mm-hmm. They're just saying, I need something.
Right.
Show me something near me. I need a cup of coffee. And the phone knows where they are, but they're bypassing the typing command.
Right, yeah.
So the implication for a local business is that if you plan to capture market share, you're going to want to be where most of your customers are. And today we see mobile as one of the biggest places for a local business to really grab hold of market share.
How? So we've got local businesses watching us today. How do they grab mobile share?
So in different ways. I mean, content, for example, making sure that the content that they're publishing is mobile friendly. That's one of the ways to do it. Video. So, I mean, right now with the devices today, you can watch video 15-second snippets. It's content, and most people are downloading and watching videos. A majority of the people are doing it right through a device.
Yeah, great.
On that point, for mobile in particular, one of the problems I see in the marketplace is I still work with a lot of local businesses, and when I pull them up online and look at their website, the experience is horrific.
Right.
And it's the first thing to look at. So if for all of you out there, if you have not done that for yourself, pull out your phone and look at your website. And if you have a good experience, good for you, then market that. If you don't, you know where to start.
It's a great one. The stat out there is it's something like half of small businesses don't even have a website, which is amazing. But then of that, it's a fraction of them that have a mobile friendly. And to your point, Todd, if you don't have one, then that experience, I know for me, if I go to look at a website and it's a bad experience, I immediately disengage with it.
Sure.
Yeah, great, thanks. Good thoughts, guys. Okay, let's move on to our second trend that we predict. And this trend is that SEO will be an even bigger ranking factor. Okay, so SEO, what do we mean by SEO? Search engine optimization, how you appear on Google, right? So the shift to mobile first search will also mean big things for organics and maps, right? There's lots of ways that we can get on this first page of Google. Andre, when you talk to local businesses, what do you talk to them about how to get on that first page of Google?
Right. I think first things is first. You, as a business or local business, you want to make sure that your business is hyper-local. There are certain things that you could do to put your business in the forefront, on the front page of Google for your local area, such as making sure that you optimize and claim your Google Plus page. Secondly, writing content that has keywords specific to your market and your location. So those are just two things that you could do. Also, making sure that your business information is all optimized. There's roughly about 100 or so directories. That information needs to be concurrent across all of those directories. When Google sees that you have optimized your business listings, your business information, you have relevant content that's local, then it allows you to rank higher locally.
And at the end of the day, I would say, for a business, you want to make sure that your consumers have the best experience, and that's ultimately what Google's looking for, right? Are you providing enough information for those customers that are wanting more research or wanting more information about your business? And that's what they decide, that's what they use to decide if you get to show up on that first page.
Right.
And there are multiple areas to consider here. So within that search results, you have paid, so get into the paid section where it makes sense.
Right.
You have your maps, so make sure your Google My Business profile is updated and optimized for the area that you service. And then the third is organic, and think beyond your website for organic. Andre keeps mentioning content. Content seems to be a recurring theme for us. Having multiple points of presence in the search results is only going to benefit your business.
Well, I was going to ask which one's more important.
They're all important.
It occurred to me as you guys were talking, I want to remind our audience, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the Q&A box. And also, if there's anything that maybe we're saying that is confusing, you can email us or go to vivial.net and we're happy to help as well. Okay, so content. Okay, you guys have been talking about this, and it is actually our next prediction. So our next prediction is content will still be king. Erin, what is content?
Right. Well, I think it means a lot of different things. It could mean an article about your business. It could mean a blog, right, on your website, something that's educating, again, those potential consumers. But it also could be reviews from other patrons or consumers of your business. It could also mean a video, right? We've said that a couple times as well. But it's a way for you to connect with your potential customers, and ultimately, again, one of Google's factors on ranking on that first page.
Yeah.
You want to provide relevance. I mean, a lot of times consumers are going along the buyer's journey. There's the first one is awareness, the next is consideration, and then determination. So with content, you want to make sure that you are providing your customer information along that buyer's journey. So for awareness, you want to have information that's educational. If it's consideration, you want to really give them something that makes your business different, right? So what is your differentiation points, right, of service? And then for determination, the offer. So you could have offers out there on display ads or within the content. So those are ways in which you could increase the probability of you capturing more of your local market through content.
Yeah.
And I think you can start simple. content can be complex if you think about white papers and case studies as content.
Definitely.
That's an advanced piece of content. But a sentence of 250 words, 400 words, whatever it might be, or a piece on that can be as simple as how to groom a pet, right? How to aerate a lawn. Something that you have expertise in. That's what people want to see.
I think it's interesting because it allows really, I think, a business owner to be in the driver's seat.
That's right.
And tell the story about their company in a meaningful kind of simple way, right? So it's a great way, I think it's a great way to start for businesses getting content out there. I have a stat here which we know is true. Customers of ours that post content see 5 times more the results than those that don't. That's shocking. Andre, 5 times.
Again, it speaks to what the general public or the consumer is looking for. We're in an environment where people are no longer just expecting to just give you. They're looking for you to give them something, earn their business, earn their trust. And we always say it's you want to be the local expert in your community. So the more information you provide to a business, then they're going to see you as a relevant expert in that, and they're going to increase your trust with them, and they're going to want to spend money with you.
Right.
Sure.
I was looking to do a major landscaping project late last year, and it was amazing as I was going through the experience because I found myself doing all my research online. I was looking at the company's websites, I was looking at photos. Some of them had actual videos of what they had done, and it made the process so much simpler for me because I was actually able to, it was as though I knew them before I even picked up the phone for the first time to call them. So I knew what I was getting into. I think the digital world has kind of changed the way as a consumer that you interact with businesses.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Okay, thanks guys. Okay, let's go into our next prediction, and this one got a little bit of a mention. So you guys mentioned video. So our prediction is 2018 will be the year of video. For real this time. So for those of us that have been in the industry for a long time, this one feels like we've been saying this for a while, like, oh, video is really important, But in a recent survey, only 27% of small businesses reported using video to attract customers. Todd, why aren't more SMBs using video?
I don't know. It is so simple. It is so accessible now. Every mobile device has pretty high-end capabilities. The network is available, the speed is there. There is no reason to not incorporate video into a content strategy. Now, when you say strategy, that sounds really complicated.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated. There are 300 hours of video uploaded to YouTube daily. Now, a lot of those videos might be cat videos, but a lot of those videos are show me the inside of a limousine because I might want to see that if I'm going to rent from a limousine company for my next event.
Right.
And that's helpful for me.
Right, yeah.
It gives the consumer a way to engage with the business. Think about how many videos we're exposed to every day. We talk about social being such a big trend, and there's videos all over those social networks, but it also captures your attention and makes you want to watch it more. So again, if you're looking at getting carpets cleaned in your house and you can't decide who to use or is it going to be a good job, maybe you watch one of their videos and look at the before and afters. You see the people that might be coming into your house with that equipment.
Right.
So
It's also applicable for restaurants. How many times, we live in a transient society and people don't have the time to always pick up and read a menu. But imagine if they could, have a virtual tour of your restaurant. Or if you're a real estate person and you're listing houses or showing houses, give them a virtual tour of the house that they may want to purchase. Video can be used in so many different ways to increase the probability of building trust and confidence in the brand or in the local business.
Yeah, restaurants is a great example. Whenever I travel, I always, of course, I'm searching online for a restaurant that I'm going to eat at dinner that night, and it's important to me about what the location looks like, and I want to get a look and a feel to understand, like, am I going to like it? And yeah, it's really changed, definitely.
Real quick, I think I said 300 hours every hour. It's 300 hours of video every minute.
Wow.
So the YouTube upload was
Yes. 300
hours every minute. Okay, well, that's crazy.
Yes, yes. And the other thing you notice too, for those of you that do have a presence on Facebook or look at Facebook, which
Right.
is only 2 billion people
Billion, right.
only,
Sure.
right? You'll notice more video ads showing up there,
Yeah.
and they've made that really easy for somebody to upload video.
Right.
So again, you asked me earlier, why aren't they? I don't know why.
Yeah.
If you're not, I don't know why you're
Yeah.
not. It's so easy.
Okay, so we have lots that aren't. So I'm a local business. What's the first thing I should, how do I do it? Do I need lighting equipment? Do I take my phone? Like what's the tip that you would give a local business on how to get in the video game?
Well, I think, one of the biggest challenges working with a lot of small businesses or local businesses we find is there are a lot of businesses that know they need to do it and want to do it, but they can't find the time. And that's where, a third-party company that offers that service can be of help to you. But, simply just, taking the iPhone or your Android phone out and start videotaping. It doesn't have to be level 3 chip cameras. It doesn't have to be professional. Today people will watch a video that's just made directly off the phone.
Yeah.
So just start filming.
So I heard hire.
That's it. Just start filming.
I heard hire Vivial. Is that what I heard?
Nice try. Okay, great discussion. Okay, let's go to our next trend. So our next trend is that micro-influencers will be even more influential. So I'm sure some of you might be asking, what is a micro-influencer? So I'll give you the true definition. Micro-influencers include internet stars who have somewhere between 10,000 and 10 million social media followers. And that's it. That's all they need to make an impact. So, the times have changed. Like we used to get celebrity endorsements, things like that. You mentioned YouTube. I mean, some YouTube stars that are 13 years old have more following than celebrities do these days. It's amazing, again, how that's the online world has kind of leveled the playing game. So micro-influencers is probably a stretch for some of our local businesses. They might be saying, yeah, I'm not going to get somebody to follow me that has 10 million followers. Like that's not going to happen. But how can local businesses get raving fans? How can they extend that audience beyond who their traditional customers are already? Andre?
From a social media standpoint, if you're on Facebook, make sure you're asking your customers to like your Facebook page. What happens with that is people who like your page, they're putting their hand up to say that, hey, I like either who you are and what you represent. So the more fans that you're growing into your Facebook page, you build a community, and out of that community, you'll start developing raving fans or champions who will champion your cause or your product or your service. And so that's the first step is, that's the most simple step is, hey, find a way to build your Facebook fans. Simply asking people, hey, you love my service? Go like me on Facebook.
And I think the next step from that can be, can you, maybe promote, right, that business. So if there's some frequent customers that you have, repeat customers, it makes sense for them to start being an advocate.
That's right.
Right, for your business. And social media, as you said, is one of the easiest, fastest ways to really grow that network.
Yeah, I think the word that I key on that you said, Andre, is community and community of interest. So as you ask for people to follow you, reciprocate. Do that for your community. Find other businesses that you like as a business owner and connect with them and create a sense of community and become your own influencers.
Right. It's interesting. I mean, I'm sure all of us can say, even in our personal lives, how many times have you seen a friend post about a restaurant or something like that, and it intrigues you to want to go try that restaurant, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. All right, let's get on to our next topic. Our next topic is artificial intelligence, or AI, is already affecting marketing. Marketers estimate their use of AI will grow by 50% over the next 2 years. AI may feel like a long ways out. How can a local business use AI? Erin?
Well, I think Andre had a story earlier we were chatting about, and maybe I let him tell that story, but I think it's...
No, take it.
Okay, you do it right. Well, I have the same story in a way where, you're shopping for something online. I think a lot of us use Amazon, right? Amazon Prime has made it very easy to shop online, do it quickly. But if you notice, if you don't purchase something right away, you might go to the Weather Channel or go to ESPN, and you might see that item that might have been in your cart following you, right? That's a form of artificial intelligence where I think it helps the branding effort of a local business. If they're in the market for a new swimming pool, right? And that's a big decision. So you're gonna go through several steps before you actually make that purchase. And if that business owner can stay in top of mind, I think it would, help bring it all together for them before they make that decision.
Andre,
Right.
your story is timely because of the timing right now.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
I was sharing that last week I was watching the Eagles game. Go
Eagles.
And,
I knew you wanted to
went
get
on-
that plug in. I
Yeah, you know
had
that,
to let you do
right?
it.
Went online looking for some Eagles paraphernalia, and went to several different sites to look for it. And then I came off and went to my Google my Gmail account, and I started noticing right away local business owners who sold paraphernalia, NFL paraphernalia. So that's just the one way that we all can see how AI technology is impacting the local business owners' way to do business. So it's capturing data, that what we call contextual or behavioral data, and then being able to determine what that particular person is looking for in terms of product and services, and delivering it to them in a timely manner.
Sure. This one feels complex. We were talking a little bit before about artificial intelligence being in the future. Share your thoughts on.
Yeah, so from a product perspective, I look at things like BI, which is business intelligence, and then AI, artificial intelligence. And BI has been around for a long time, which is really looking back historically at information to tell you where you've been, what has worked. And artificial intelligence is sort of answering the question, what do I do next? So it's looking at some of these things, being able to make sense of the information that's available to you. And I think it becomes really important to local businesses, not just from an advertising perspective, like the delivery of the ad, but understanding how your programs are working, whether that's on social or paid search or content marketing strategies, whatever it might be. There's so much data available. You can't say any longer that you don't know who your customers are.
Right.
It's just not a fair thing to say any longer. It's available. Now, do you know what to do with it and how to read it and make sense of it? Artificial intelligence can help you analyze that data, but it can't answer all of the questions for you. It doesn't necessarily know what questions to ask.
Yeah. You mentioned product, and obviously you're VP of digital products, so we pay you every day to kind of stay on the front end of this.
So what brings me to this panel?
How difficult is it to stay ahead of what's going on? How hard is it for you and your team to manage?
It's a lot. The volume that's available is a lot. It's difficult, and nobody is an expert. We're all students because it's constantly changing, which makes it really interesting and fun. So what we talk about every day sounds like a foreign language to many local businesses. And so part of the challenge is, how do you take this complex ecosystem and boil it down to something meaningful?
Right. Yeah, we're only like a few topics in, and I'm like, I even sense like this can be really overwhelming. And
Sure.
I know we all talk about that a lot internally. Andre, the local businesses that you talk to, what are some of the tips and tricks that you give for them not to be overwhelmed?
Well, keep it simple. I mean, understand who your customer is, and there's tons of information out there online for you to understand your customer better. Find out where your customer hangs out on social channels. Get involved, engage with them, create content that's engaging for them to tell you how to help them or to serve them. So I tell clients all the time, look, your customers are looking for you everywhere and anywhere. Your job is to make sure through content and through various digital means that you are there when they're looking for you most.
Erin, you work with hundreds of our reps across the nation. How do you get our reps to keep things simple?
I think it comes back to, again, knowing that customer, but helping our consultants understand the buying cycle that we go through every day as consumers and relaying that over to the business owners. I don't think it has to be any different than us as consumers talking or helping that business owner understand that's what you as a business owner do every day, that's what your other customers are doing, and how do we help connect the dots for them.
Yeah. It's interesting. One of the most, I think the simplest digital products, so to speak, for us to understand is websites, right? So we don't have anything in our predictions about websites. And we talked a little bit about, at the beginning, about the importance of a website. And I find it shocking how many local businesses don't have a website. How critical is a website?
It's your starting point.
That's right.
Right.
It's not the only starting point, by the way. So there are lots of points of presence, as I mentioned, that you can get online, but it's the easiest one and one of the most important foundational things that you can have for your business. It is not just a place that people go to learn about your business. It is your online reputation, it is your online presence, it is all of these things that get people to at least know who you are. In fact, the cost of not doing it right is even higher than the cost of doing it right in the first place, right?
Right.
I think it's a form of validation. I can't tell you how many times I search a business, and the first thing I go to a lot of trade shows or these network meetings, and the first thing I say is, do you have a website?
Right.
Because the average person, if they engage with the business, they may not ask the questions, but they want to go privately and find out the information. So for business not to have a website, it's really telling the general public that you don't exist.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really important, especially for a local business. It is your validation into the business world.
It almost makes you wonder the legitimacy of the business.
Sure.
Is that right? I mean, do you think that's fair?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it again from your perspective. If you're looking for something, right? If you need an attorney, let's say, for some reason, would you do business with them if you couldn't find more information?
Yeah.
If you couldn't see a website and really understand just the basics of what they have to offer?
Yeah.
One of our consultants even describes it as you're building a house. And this is the four walls, right? The four walls, the roof, and that's it. You have to have that external structure before you can start building and driving, more traffic.
Yeah, I've had that. Oh, go ahead.
And I would just say that we say website, but really what we're saying is a mobile website.
Sure.
Yes.
Right. That's a very good point.
Have to.
Right.
Have to have a mobile website.
I was about to say from a consumer perspective, and your point made me think maybe there's two annoying things. I was going to say from a consumer perspective, there's nothing more annoying than when you're searching for something and you can't find that website at all, right? And you're like, is this business really in business? Did they go out of business? Maybe the second most is when you're on your mobile phone and that experience is just awful.
Yeah.
Hard to find information.
I think the other side of that too is once you get a website is to make sure that the website answers the questions that are on the consumer's mind. You have 30 seconds to answer the question, so you want to make sure that the information answers the question. So if you don't have a website, get one. And if you do have one, make sure that your website answers the question.
Sure.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, before we go on to what I think is our last trend, I want to remind everybody, if you have questions, we'll have the answers. You don't have to provide those. But if you have questions, make sure that you put them in the Q&A box below, and we'll answer as many as we can get to. So our last trend is human intelligence isn't going anywhere. And by this, what we mean, the last one was really about artificial intelligence, right? We know it's still being developed. And we think the reality is people need to work with experts in that technology, because we've talked a little bit about the complexity of it. Andre, how important is that?
So, we talk about content, we talked about video, we talked about websites, we talked about, SEO. All of those are disciplines, or what we call various disciplines in the digital space. Without having someone to help you navigate through each of those disciplines and create a strategy that's effective and it's going to bring you a return on your investment, that really will hurt a business. One of the things that I like about Vivial is that we are experts at bringing these different disciplines and making them work together. So our digital ecosystem is designed to increase your presence, increase your engagement, and drive quality traffic to both your website and your social channels for the purposes of creating more business opportunities for you.
And I think the other thing to make note of is you don't have the time, most likely, right, to really try to navigate this world on your own. And that is where the human intelligence, I think, comes into play, is having the support system, having the ongoing support throughout your strategy. And I think it's important for local businesses to understand that you're not having to do this on your own.
And
there's help out there.
I'm sorry, something that Todd said, we don't have all the answers. And so with our platform, we could do it for you, but we like to do it with you.
Sure.
We want your engagement because ultimately it is your message. We're just the experts in the backfield. But you help us drive the right message, create the right picture of your business that you want to get out there. So that's what human intelligence is all about. It's us helping you create the right type of message and impression you want to make to your general market.
Yeah, we work with hundreds of thousands of small businesses all across the United States, and I think the common thread is the passion that those businesses have for their business, right? They've owned their plumbing company for the last 20 years, and it's important to them. And I think the common thread that we have is the passion that we have to help local businesses.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna get into our questions. Before we do that though, I wanna go down and I wanna ask each of you, what are your predictions for 2018? We've gone through some of Vivial's, but I'd like to hear from each one of you. We're gonna get the questions queued up. Todd, what's your prediction?
In real estate, they say location, location, location.
Right.
My prediction is data, data, data. The abundance of data, now we're starting to see companies like Google start to aggregate more of that data together. Facebook is bringing multiple properties together. With artificial intelligence, we're able to access that in new ways. So I think not only should businesses be focused on what information is in their website, but how is that information structured? That's data.
Good. Erin?
I'm going with video. I'm going with video. I think, again, it's a great way to capture an audience larger than maybe what you have now, but more importantly on how to engage them, right? How to connect to them, how to make your business feel real, how to bring it down to a level where consumers want and have that desire to then connect with you.
I think content will continue to grow, but for local businesses, it will become the competitive edge for businesses who seek to learn how to use content in a more meaningful way to address their customer along the buyer's journey. So I think that's going to be really, really something to look forward to. You'll see a lot of local businesses who embrace content will have a competitive edge over the businesses that don't.
Awesome. Good. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's get into some questions. Are you guys ready?
Ready?
Okay, all right. So we've got our first question, which is, what do you mean by a mobile website? Is it different than a regular one? Erin?
Yes, I would say yes. Short answer, right? And what that really means is if you pull out your mobile device, again, as Todd said before, it could be a tablet, it could be your phone in your hand, it could even be a laptop, right? But more importantly, what you're using on a day-to-day of those mobile devices, is it easy for you to have a good experience? Is it easy for you to connect with them? Click to call? Can you get directions quickly? Normally, when you're on your mobile device, those are things that you're looking for.
Do you have to have two different websites?
You do not. No.
I kind of tossed that one.
Right, thanks. No, you don't. It really is just a formatting of it, and you have to make sure that, again, it responds to the different devices that your consumers could be using.
That's the key word right there.
Right.
So if you're evaluating a website solution, the word that you should be looking for is responsive design.
That's correct.
That means it adjusts to whatever screen size you're looking at it on.
Okay, great. Okay, next question. What are some of the sources that you would recommend to stay in the know about digital trends? Can I take this one?
Sure.
Vice President of Marketing.
Well, I selfishly I want to take this one because my team produces a blog, right? So we eat our own dog food. We create content for ourselves and for our customers. So actually, you can subscribe to our blog, and we post tips and tricks all the time of what's happening in the digital landscape and what's going on. Todd, do you have any other suggestions of how to stay in the know? And more importantly, do they need to stay in the know?
That is actually a really good question, because part of the reason that you go to somebody like a Vivial or you go to an expert is because their job is to stay in the know. Your job is to do whatever you're great at, right? So I don't go to my landscaper to get my hair cut. I go to a place to get my hair cut that specializes in that. So keeping ahead of it, keeping on trends, it should be a hobby, but you don't have to.
Right. That's hard, especially if you got your full-time job as well. Yeah. Okay, next question. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, AI seems to know what I want to buy based on history. Amazon and others know. Not sure how the little guy gets in that game. How does a little guy get in the AI game? Todd, how do they follow us around? Okay, you don't have to tell us how.
Right.
Secret sauce.
Right. It's called retargeting, right? They know where you are, they know who you are, they know where you've been. It is a little Big Brother-ish, right? But they do it, I believe that they do that with the best intentions, right?
Yeah.
To help you find or connect with whatever it is you're interested in. So serving you relevant information based on what they believe is your persona and what you're interested in. So how does the little guy get in the game? my favorite 3 words, data, right? So provide information, for example, on your website would be an example of that, but you really are paying to play when you're talking about retargeting, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's a display ad or search ad, and there are things called retargeting pixels that are used, and this is all sort of a foreign language to most folks that they don't need to understand.
Okay, so Andre, can a local business take advantage of the things that Todd just talked about?
I mean, it's very affordable, and it makes sense for any business, especially on a social media platform.
Yeah.
One of the things that we at Vivial do is help business understand the technology and the platforms. In a simple answer, yes. Small businesses can and should take advantage of AI technology in the form of Facebook ads, retargeting pixels, display advertising, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, it's cost effective, it's affordable, and every business that can should.
As a consumer, I actually kind of like this one. I don't feel like it's too big brother. I like that like little tap on the shoulder, like, hey, remember you were looking to buy this thing?
Sure.
Now my wallet maybe doesn't like it so
Right,
much,
right.
but I tend to like it. Okay, next question. Which video editing programs would you recommend? For instance, Animoto or Filmora? Erin.
Well, I would say, that's something that our consultants can help understand, again, that space a little bit more. I would say, get in contact with us and I think we can help. I don't know, Todd, if you have anything to add to specific video editing games.
I don't have a recommendation on that one, only because there are so many available.
Yeah, there
right?
are
Go to the
tons.
App Store.
Well, your own iPhone.
And look for and look for video editing programs. There isn't necessarily one that's better than another. Some of it is just personal preference, right?
Right.
And what type of video it is that you're creating, right? If you're
Right.
getting sophisticated, you're going to need a more robust program. But if you're just doing a 15, 30-second clip, you don't need much.
Yeah.
You don't need nothing at all, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can just do it on your phone.
Yeah. Love this next question, and very timely. What about Facebook's new algorithm? Todd, this one seems right up your alley.
Yeah, we were joking about this earlier, and I was making the point that, like, Mark doesn't give me a call and say, hey, Todd, I just want to let you know, we're changing the algorithm, so talk to your customers about this. Is that okay? Like, he didn't call and ask me that.
I'm surprised.
Well, we're pretty tight, but, he just got all rich, and then he stopped calling me. So what about it? So what does it mean? My prediction for some of this is your community, right? Those that follow you, those that interact with your content, have even more value than they did before. And I know that they've made some statements about lessening paid.
Right.
I believe paid becomes even more important, and as they expand into more people discover that they can extend their Facebook advertising into Messenger, into apps, connect it to Instagram, that the field actually gets much broader. So I think paid will become even more important.
Right. I think a local business automatically, I think, expects, if I've got 500 followers on Facebook, right, and I push out a message to them, a special that I'm going to run next week, that all 500 of my followers will see that message.
Right.
That's not fair to assume that,
no,
is it?
because it depends on the type of advertising platform you're working on. Facebook has various advertising platforms. If the platform is ads or content showing up in the feed, that person has to open up the feed to find it, right? If it's paid advertising, more than likely they'll see it. It's usually right rail. But that doesn't necessarily mean your 500 fans are going to see it. If they don't meet the criteria as a potential avatar for that particular message, they may never see your message.
I think the most recent stat, and I don't know if you guys saw the same, I think now they're saying, I think it's in the neighborhood of 3% of your audience will actually see that message through organic means,
Right.
which is, that's a bit scary, I think, for a local business. Okay, good. This is a great question. What, in your view, would be a reasonable estimate of the percentage of the cost of marketing versus gross revenues? Andre, you have this conversation with local businesses every day.
So the National Small and Medium-Sized Business Administration says that a healthy business, should spend anywhere between 7 to 9% of its gross sales on marketing, reinvesting in its business through marketing, traditional marketing. Today, the trend is most successful businesses spend about 3% or more of that 7 to 9% in digital. So if you're a small business, I would say anywhere from 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 7 or more There was another stat that said right now, digital marketing will, in the next 3 to 5 years, will command 46% of all of the revenue allocated to marketing.
Wow.
So that's huge. And so if larger companies realize the value of digital marketing, success always leaves trails. Small business owners, local business owners should follow that trend. Not to say you need to invest the same amount, but a good amount would be 3 to 4% of your gross sales in your digital marketing strategy.
Yeah, I think it feels overwhelming for a lot of local businesses of like where to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that, at least most of the local businesses I talk to, I don't think that there is a question that they need to do it, but it's how and where to start.
And when.
And when, yeah, that's great.
It's not how or should, it's when.
Yeah, the great point. Okay, next question. I've started getting text messages from big companies like Amazon and my bank. Is this something smaller companies should be doing? So it's a text messaging question. This is really relevant. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. And text messaging can be used in a lot of different ways. So most people, when they think of text messaging, other than us text messaging each other, right, person to person, oftentimes we see it as sort of give me a coupon would be an example. But it's also used, and I know many have probably experienced this, but when you check in at a restaurant and they say, we'll let you know when your table's ready, we'll send you a text message. Another way would be communicating with clients, dry cleaning is ready for pickup. Or if you're, again, landscaper is another example, you might send out a message to those that you want to reach about winterizing their sprinklers. That would be a very seasonal, timely thing to send out. Or it snows and you do, you know what, I guess I'm gonna make a few bucks here, I'm gonna do some snow removal. I'm gonna let people know, hey, text me back if you want me to, either it's a commercial property or something like that for snow removal and that kind of stuff. So you can use it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be overly sophisticated about it. But
Is it effective?
it is very effective, more
Yeah.
effective than email. It's one of the most effective ways, but it shouldn't be your only path, right? You gotta,
Right.
the big buzzword, you have to be omni-channel, right? You have to be
Okay, whoa,
touching.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, you want to use a lot of different.
Whoa,
You want
whoa.
to use a lot of different ways, right? To engage clients. So.
Omnichannel will be for our next webinar. Okay, let's go on to our next question. We are a small fish in a big pond. We don't have the budget to push ads on Google or Facebook. Our competitors do. Is organic search still relevant when you're buried under 5 competitor ads? This is an interesting one. Who wants it?
I'll
You
take
want
this
it?
one.
Okay.
So I would say yes. First and foremost, I think people use the search engine in a lot of different ways, and I think is more important to understand where your consumer is in the buying cycle. Typically, when they use those ads, it is a smaller percentage of the total searches that are happening in the traffic. It's a smaller percentage that are using the ads, but typically they are ready to buy. They might have an emergency situation. They need something quick. People that are using the maps or the organic section are still in the research mode, right? They're wanting more information. They're reading reviews. Maybe they're watching some of those videos. And again, that's the larger part of the traffic, but it's all dependent on where your consumers are in their buying cycle.
Yeah.
Right. Google says 75% of all traffic that happens never goes past the first page. So you don't necessarily have to, be the top ad. Local, hyper-local is the best way to go. If you're a local business and you have competitors, there are keywords that you can optimize for that your competitors are not. And now you become a big fish in a small pond versus a small fish in a big pond, right? So there are different strategies, and we could help you with that. So if you're interested, hey, give us a call.
Email at the bottom of the screen.
That's right.
Yeah. The first part of that question though was about, and the question's not there, but if I'm remembering, I think it was, I don't have the budget to be on Google and Facebook. What do you think about that?
I want to point one thing out. So it was 75%. I think I don't have the exact number, but
Yeah.
25% of billions of searches is still a lot of searches.
Right.
So page 2 may not be your prime location, but there is still value in that. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't want to discount that.
Right.
So the budget,
I guess I'm asking, does it always have to be, is it expensive?
it can be.
Okay.
It absolutely can be.
Okay.
It depends on what industry you're in, right? Attorneys and legal are in a very expensive area. Hair salon, maybe not quite as much. So it's relative to, what everybody else is spending.
Right.
It's an auction-based market. So
Right.
dentists, be prepared to pay more because it's a very competitive space.
I think the other question is, you asked, does it need to be expensive? And the answer is no, but what's more expensive is when you don't have customers.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the traditional forms of advertising is not working for you, and you're looking for ways to grow your business, digital marketing provides opportunity for small businesses to play just as the big guys play, and it is affordable.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Michael asked, does Vivial best serve the small business customer? How about upstream customers? Andre, this one is for you.
So, you know, we got our start with, you know, we've started in the small business, but by no means are we limited to small business owners or small businesses. Mid-sized companies, we work with mid-size. We have enterprise relationships with businesses who work with us. So the answer is we work with both small, medium, and large. Our whole premise is to make sure that we're able to deliver the kind of message that your business needs to drive the type of traffic that you want. So whether you're a local business, a mid-sized business, or an enterprise level business, we have a solution for you.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, last two questions I'm being told by our production team. But I should tell you, keep the questions coming, and if we don't get to you during this, if you're not one of the last two, we will follow up with you after. We want to make sure that we're able to help and educate in any way that we can. Okay, Joshua has a question. How often should you post blogs, deals, and content? Once a week? Does it really matter?
It does matter, and it's very social network dependent. So, you know, typically a couple times a week is, you know, probably sufficient. But it depends on the network, right? But if you're really going to get involved, 2-3 times a week is probably about right. But if you don't have that much, don't be intimidated by that. Do it as, you know, at least once a week, at least once a month.
Right,
Sure.
definitely at least once a month.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, great last question. Carla asks, is the millennial market leaving Facebook? Aaron, what do you think?
Is it because you think I'm a millennial?
Well,
I
maybe.
appreciate that compliment. I would say they're still using it. I don't think that they're leaving by any means. I just think they're using a number of social outlets like Facebook, Snapchat, right? We have a lot of fun with Snapchat, Instagram. But the good news is, you know, they all feed off of each other in certain ways. Facebook and Instagram, right? So if you're not doing one, you might be able to do the other, or vice versa. You could do both. You could do multiples. But I do think that it's important for, as we said before, you know, spread that out. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. Well, this has been a ton of fun. I didn't even mention at the beginning, you know, the four of us are actually located really across the U.S. So Andre's from Manhattan, we've got St. Louis represented, Denver, Colorado, and Lincoln, Nebraska. So we have spanning the U.S.
Sure.
And so we're thrilled to be together today and thrilled that we were able to share some of our predictions with you. So reminder, if you have any questions, you can go to vivial.net. You can also email at the bottom, and we'd be happy to give a free consultation. And this has been recorded, so you can look for the recording out there. It'll be there in a few days. Thanks all. Have a great day.